What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A Cincy Fan Talking. This is LP, that Cincy fan that is talking. Got a few new folks listening. Appreciate the support. Make sure you click on the past episodes, see if you missed something. Let me know if you liked it or not. Just click on the link. If you would like to contribute to some episodes, click on the voice message. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Any feedback is appreciated. Positive, negative, whatever you got, just let me know. Also, click on the link tree. Support that. Click on the change.org stuff, Black Lives Matter stuff. Make sure you do that. I will 100% appreciate that. So, on this episode, I'm going to talk about some stuff that's near and dear to me. I'm going to get into if we should be back in school or not. I'm a teacher. My wife's a teacher. I got a second grader. I got an eighth grader. So it's a subject that pops up in our household on a regular basis. And I know my listeners, I see it on my Twitter feed all of the time. Should we be back in school? Is it safe enough to go to school? So that's what I'm gonna talk about on this episode. Got some strong opinions on it. You might agree, you might disagree. Let me know what you think. So this is how I feel on it. Me personally, I would love to be back in my classroom. But I don't want to go back in my classroom unless it's safe for me and my students to be in the classroom. Kids can't really learn unless it's safe. They just can't. Because me teaching the 7th grade classroom, all the kids are thinking about is the environment. If it's not safe, that's all they're thinking about. That's all they're talking about. There's not a lot of learning going on in that classroom if it's not safe, because all they're thinking about is the unsafe environment. So it's really pointless for them to be in that unsafe environment because that's all they're thinking about. I said this way back in March. I pinpointed the exact moment that I knew everything had changed in America. I pinpointed it. I didn't exactly know it at the time, but when I looked back on it, I was like, wow, everything changed at that moment. It was myself and it was the intervention specialist. We were in the room and we're sitting there teaching, just doing our thing. And it was like the day before the NBA shut down and like everything just went crazy. It was like that day before. And we're just teaching. I have everything set up in the classroom in like groups of 4. Kids like to learn in groups in middle school. It's a pretty cool way to learn. You got everybody broken up in groups, kids working in 4s. It's pretty cool. As we're doing our group work, somebody coughs. And when that kid coughed, the 2 girls sitting next to this boy immediately got up and ran all the way to the corner of the classroom. Immediately. It was instinctive. Off of a cough. And the intervention specialist and myself, we just looked at each other and we were like, did that just happen? And they refused to sit in that seat. They were like, we're not sitting there. And these weren't two girls who just like caused all types of trouble. Like, these weren't that type of girls. You know, these two straight laced kids. So we put them in different seats or whatever. And we just looked at each other like, what? Like, what's happening right now? And as the day went on, we just started noticing like, it's going crazy right now. Like, we don't understand what's happening. And everything just started going crazy after that. Like, the world just seemed to go crazy. I just picture so many episodes like that. Kids won't be able to cough in a seventh grade classroom without, oh my God, corona. That's what it'll be. Like, it's going to be hard for kids to learn in an environment where it's not safe, where they feel that it's not safe. Now, me personally, what I feel like when you go on like the local level, I feel like there's actually a plan. I feel like the local districts actually have a plan. They kind of know what directions they're going in. Like my district, they actually have a plan in place, and they're putting this plan out to the parents, and they're letting them choose. My kids' school, they have a plan in place. All the districts around me, they have plans in place. And as I look around like the region, there seems to be plans in place. But it seems like the higher you go up in the chain, as you go like statewide and federal, it seems like it gets more and more chaotic, which is weird. It's like the higher up the food chain you go, the less of a plan there is. It seems like it's more chaotic, which is absolutely insane to me. We should be able to look to our state leaders and our federal government leaders for guidance in situations like these. But it seems like they're pointing all of this information onto local leadership. So everything gets convoluted and it's weird. All of this information is just like pushed onto the local level. So of course it's confusing when you have people like Trump going like, deal with it, but go to school. That's that's strange. And then you get to the one and it's like, we want you in school, but local leaders deal with it. So the local leaders are dealing with it. And whatever choice they make, it's not going to make every parent happy. Because the only choice that's going to make every parent happy is what we had before the pandemic. That's the only thing that's going to make everybody happy. No pandemic, a 5-day week. But we're not going to have that. We're not going to have that for a very long time. We're not going to have, it's not going to be that way. So, as a society, as Americans, what we need to realize is we need to make the best out of the situation that we have, and we need to make sure that it's safe for everybody. I personally feel like we're trying to make it safe for the students, and we're forgetting that somebody has to teach the students. That would be the teachers. And if we don't make it safe for the teachers, then the students may get infected anyway. Think about it like this. You have a middle school teacher. A middle school teacher probably sees 4 or 5 classes a day. If this middle school teacher comes down with coronavirus, right? That middle school teacher has to be home for 14 days. Everybody that middle school teacher comes in contact with is probably going to have to be quarantined as well. That will be all of those classes. That's a problem. That's a lot of kids in those classes. So you have to keep the teacher safe because the teacher sees a lot of kids in the course of a day. I would think you would want to prioritize the health of the teachers simply because of the fact that the teacher sees a lot of kids. You want to prioritize the health of the teachers just as much as the students in this situation. And I feel like the teachers are being put on the back burner in this case. I don't think that's a smart move. I feel like everybody should be prioritized. The students, the staff, everybody should be prioritized in this situation because everybody's important. Everybody makes this engine run. Everybody's important. And that's pretty much my take on it. These schools are very important. They need to be open. But they shouldn't be open if it can't be done safely. Because if it can't be done safely, we're going to end up in the same situation we were in March anyway. So if we can't do it right, we might as well not do it. Oh, and by the way, it's probably going to be a really good opportunity to invest in technology for all of our schools. Now is the time to do that. Wi-Fi for all of these schools. Laptops for all of these schools. Now is the time to do that. Let's not wait, because we don't want a repeat of what happened in March, where we had stories where some people had to drive around in their cars trying to find Wi-Fi. We don't want repeats of that stuff, because we see where this is trending. It looks like it's going down the same road again. So we shouldn't make the same mistakes. I mean, it just makes sense to me. We need strong leadership from the top down. If we can't get it from the top down, and we're not getting it from the top down, we might as well just call a spade a spade. It's not happening. We're not going to get it from the top. We're not going to get it from Washington. We're not going to get what we need. So it seems like locally we're getting what we need. So we might as well kind of ride that train. But there's no way these schools should open if it's not going to be safe. And to me, that's really the whole point of it all. It doesn't make sense to close school in March because it wasn't safe, just to open it up again if it's not safe. It's just kind of counterproductive to me. That's just my point. It will be really counterproductive to just go backwards and do something like that. That's really my whole point. As far as my family, we're gonna stick to kind of what I just said. If it's safe enough, we'll send the kids. And if it's not, we're going to have to make arrangements and do our best and work out some type of homeschooling thing. So this is a really, really, really tough situation. It really is. I've never seen anything like this. But I'm gonna make absolutely sure that I do my best as far as teaching this year, because the kids I get this year, they're definitely gonna need it. I'm gonna get seventh graders. They're gonna be looking to me for guidance. They're gonna be looking at me like I don't know what's going on, and I'm just gonna be 100% honest with them. Like, look, things are gonna be different. Things are gonna be very, very different this year. You're not gonna get a lot of paper from me. You're gonna have to learn to use these websites. Expect to see my face all of the time. If we're not in person, expect to learn how to use Google Meet, Google Classroom, all of our math websites, pretty much everything we need. Make sure you know how to do it. I'm going to stay on them, but that's what we're going to have to do. I may have to do it virtually. We might have to do it in person. Either way we got to do it. I will make sure we get 100% instruction all year long, whatever it takes. Because however it got to get done, got to get done. Coronavirus or not, got to get the instruction in. You need to get done. Let me know how you feel about the episode. Send me a tweet. Send me an anchor message. Let me know how you feel about it. Positive, negative. Just let me know. All messages, good messages, except for the weird stuff, except for the crazy, ignorant hate messages. I can't really do much with those. So save those. I can't really mess with those. Catch up with y'all when I catch up with y'all. So till we meet again, as always, life is good. It's been a Cincy fan talking. Till we catch up again, peace out.